Oh, and here it is. Here it is. Roll up, ladies and gentlemen. One man went tomorrow. Here it is. Here I am. Hope you are there. The session has commenced and your company is required. That thing that happens twice a day, you know the routine already. The first installation of the day, this is the presentation of right now. So if you're available, avail your self of the session. One man went to mow, the eagle has landed.
Another Savior, holy, 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 Adimebujuku. Another Savior, holy, 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 Adimebujuku.
Well, this is Mobien. This is dedicated to the gallant heroes of the Nigerian Biafra War and IPO families all over the world. I remember the Nigerian Biafran War, in the thickness of the Biafra genocide. Hey, one man revived the vanishing hope to life. Let the great Biafran army to fight, and they were singing out, holy, 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 is another Savior. They were singing out, holy, 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 is another Savior. Holy, 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 is another Savior. Many years after the genocide, whoa, yet another great leader has risen up now. Oh, and he's leading the Biafrans to victory. In your madika, yabika kokwana no. Hey, anamekele mazuche mefo. Manemo, it's an honor having you on board. When I'm singing along, holy, 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 Namdekano is another Savior. Sing along, holy, 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 Namdekano is another Savior. When I sing along, holy, 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 is another Savior. Getting moving right and getting moving faster now. Holy, 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 is another Savior. Holy, holy, getting moving right and moving faster. Never freedom. Is another Savior. Never freedom. Holy, 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 Namdekano is another Savior.
Another Savior, holy, 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 Adimebujuku. Another Savior, holy, 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 Adimebujuku.
Well, this is Mobien. This is dedicated to the gallant heroes of the Nigerian Biafra War and IPO families all over the world. I remember the Nigerian Biafran War, in the thickness of the Biafra genocide. Hey, one man revived the vanishing hope to life. Let the great Biafran army to fight, and they were singing out, holy, 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 is another Savior. They were singing out, holy, 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 is another Savior. Holy, 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 is another Savior. Many years after the genocide, whoa, yet another great leader has risen up now. Oh, and he's leading the Biafrans to victory. In your madika, yabika kokwana no. Hey, anamekele mazuche mefo.
And there it is right there, the Holy, Holy song from the farmyard singers from the eastern part of Nigeria. Holy, holy, as guys, I bring you this. How Buhari government robbed me of victory in 2019 election. Ex-Vice President Atiku. So, of course, even I am still pained by what happened in 2019. A real travesty. The Nigerian population, they sampled Buhari from 2015 to 2019, and they saw that he was not at all fit for purpose. They thought that he had, or they saw, not thought but saw, because it was demonstrably so. They saw that he had ulterior motives. He was there to unfurl an agenda that would be to the detriment of a vast swathe of the Nigerian population. The Fulanization and the Islamization agenda, he kicked that off immediately. Started this administration, wanting to seize people's land to create ruga, insisting that his clansmen can cut through anybody's farmland, wanting to create game reserves in every local government area, and everything that was Nigerian was invested and vested on the Fulani clan. So they rejected this guy totally in 2019. But the biggest travesty yet in the electoral journey of that country was perpetrated in 2019, when we were hearing that 90% voter uptake in Borno, which was a war zone. 90%, 92% even voter uptake in Borno. The numbers that came out of Borno was greater than the numbers that were registered to vote. You heard that in 2019, and in the eastern parts of Nigeria, where they were fervently opposed to this guy and they were determined to get him out, especially the way he was vested upon their son, they told us that only 40 to 48% of the southeastern parts voted. This was it. And they told us Showore that traversed all the local government area of that country to great acclaim, everybody chanting his voice. They gave him 33,000 votes. The worst election in the history of Nigeria. Nigerians voted Buhari out, but Amala Mahmoud Yakubu, he told us that your votes, don't be stupid. This guy continues to be your president. They took him to court, and Tanko Mohammed. How are you going to get Tanko Mohammed to get justice against somebody that is called Buhari? The worst travesty in the history of that country. How Buhari government robbed me of victory in 2019 election. Ex-Vice President Atiku. So quite how Atiku is reminiscing, still pained, of course, by that incident. We find out shortly. So this we find out shortly as well. A lot of Kanu narratives coming out. Court rejects Kanu'S bail plea as federal government withdraws newly amended charges. So what's in play there, we find out shortly. So the next headline is also a Kanu headline as well. Federal government indicts Nnamdi Kanu's lawyers as accomplices in amended charges. So what the indictment is, we'll find out shortly. Court rejects Nnamdi Kanu's bail plea. I think that was also in a previous headline. And then this one now says, but I'm not quite sure the veracity of this. We'll see what the body of the story tells us to see what we're making of it. Court strikes out remaining charges against Kanu. So if they struck out the remaining charges against Kanu, then of course, then that should lead to his release. So quite what is in play there, we'll find out shortly. The usual protocols, you know the routine already. If you have been coming here with any regularity and your subscribe button is showing red, then you are not doing the right thing. It's essentially robbing this place of the intellectual property that we are presenting you. Your ticket to entry is to click on the subscribe button. That's the least you can do just to show support for the platform. And click on the like button as well. We're pushing hard to get ourselves up the YouTube algorithm. And at your discretion, you can click on the hyperlink in the comment section that says StreamYard. That brings you into a studio space. And as soon as I finish reading out the talking points, I'll let you onto the screen and sample your opinion. So that's how it works. It's an interactive session. It's an open microphone session. And the open microphone is the hyperlink that says StreamYard. So if you want to come onto the screen and engage in a conversation around the talking points, then click on the StreamYard hyperlink. So 3 clicks, click on the subscribe button, click on the like button, and at your discretion, click on the hyperlink that says StreamYard to come and have a conversation. So as you set about the clicking, let me provide you with a little bit of a musical backdrop. To the east we stay, and we partake in another Python dance.
Python dance 1, Python dance 2, now Python dance 3. Unapoli Mary Namdi win the war. Python dance 1, Python dance 2, now Python dance 3. Unapoli Mary Namdi go onye do I walk. O Mary wone nizu Mbiroya Abakare Mamanda Ora, Unapuri Mary Nandi win the war. Python dance 1, Python dance 2, now Python dance 3. Unapuri Mary Nandi win the war. Python dance 1, Python dance 2, now Python dance 3. Unapuri Mary Nandi win the war. Python dance 1, Python dance 2, now Python dance 3. Unapuri Mary Nandi win the war. Python dance 1, Python dance 2, now Python dance 3. Unapuri Mary Nandi win the war. Python dance 1, Python dance 2, now Python dance 3. Unapuri Mary Nandi.
And there you heard it. They will never give it up. They continue to insist in the East. NNAMDI wins the war. So NNAMDI wins the war. So I'm going to bring you a couple more stories that I did not trail in that readout of the headlines. So a couple more stories that I did not trail in the readout of the headlines. But let's go to stories first that I did trail. How Buhari government robbed me of victory in 2019 election. Article still pained. Former Vice President and presidential aspirant on the platform of the People's Democratic Party PDP, Alhaji Atiku Abubakar, has said he was robbed of his mandate by the All Progressive Congress APC, noting that he won the 2019 presidential election. He accused the APC of using the power of incumbency and the instrument of the federal government to deny him the mandate given to him by voters in 2019. Atiku stated this while speaking with Kaduna PDP delegates at the party's secretariat on Tuesday night. Under no circumstances will that be allowed to repeat itself in the 2023 election. Should the party give me the mandate to contest, give me your votes again, like you did in 2018. I assure you that I will not disappoint you, he pleaded. If given the party's mandate and I emerge the president in 2023, I will invest in education, decisively addressing security, and create employment for the youth, unite the country, and give every part of the country a sense of belonging. I am here again to solicit for your votes, like you gave me in 2018. I won the 2019 presidential election squarely, but was robbed of it, just like you people were robbed in Kaduna State using government power of incumbency. But we won't allow that to repeat again in 2023. I therefore appeal to you to elect correct and competent leaders. If I get the mandate of the party and emerge victorious in 2023, I will unite Nigerians and give every part of the country a sense of belonging. If elected president, I will invest in education, decisively addressing security, and provide employment to our youth. Give me your vote, and you won't regret doing so, he told delegates. So still clearly pained by what transpired in 2019, a real travesty what happened in that space. Yes, a real travesty so there's a second story on this same headline that I'm having a look to see if there's anything different. But there's a paragraph in this follow-on story that's somewhat different from what I just read out. So I'll just give you that one paragraph because everything else in the body of the story is repetitive of what I just read out. Corroborating article's position, former governor of Kaduna State, Senator Mohammed Ahmed Markafi, and the state party chairman, Honorable Hassan Felix Haid, said, "We agree in totality that PDP won the 2019 general election, both at the national and state level, but we were denied victory. We pray it doesn't repeat itself in 2023. So there's no equivocation. Atiku defeated Malam Buhari roundly in 2019. Because, of course, I haven't experienced what the country experienced from 2015 to 2019. Not even Buhari's own blood brother would have voted for him. But Mahmoud Yakubu, of course, he just wrote some ridiculous figures and told us, remember, when they were telling us they had no servers and all of that conversation, a real travesty, the worst yet that we've experienced in that country. So from that to this, court rejects Kanu'S plea. Court rejects Kanu'S bail plea as federal government withdraws newly amended charges. So the next series of readouts might somewhat be repetitive, but I'm going to give you the full diet of it, just in case there's any new information in a different headline. So court rejects Kanu'S bail plea as federal government withdraws newly amended charges. So these are new evolving emerging stories. So it might just be a short read. The Federal High Court Abuja on Wednesday refused to admit NNAMDI Kanu, leader of the proscribed indigenous people of Biafra, to bail Mike Ozokome. Kanu's lead counsel had moved an application for bail. Pardon me. Let's start out all over again. The Federal High Court Abuja on Wednesday refused to admit NNAMDI Kanu, leader of the proscribed indigenous people of Biafra IPOB, to bail. Mike Ozokome, Kanu's lead counsel, had moved an application for bail after Justice Nyako on April the 8th struck out 8 of the 15 count charges against Kanu. Ozokome had said, until a person is tried and convicted, he should be allowed to walk free. He reminded the court that a defendant ought to enjoy the presumption of innocence until proven guilty. He begged the court to consider the deteriorating health condition of the defendant. Ruling on the bail application on Wednesday, Justice Nyako held the application is premature and refused with liberty to refile and reapply. Nyako said the issue of Kanu's absence in the past, since 2017, should be determined before his bail application will be entertained. She added that Kanu breached his former bail conditions, and until that is heard, his present bail application is immature. Meanwhile, the federal government has withdrawn the newly amended charges against NNAMDI Kanu. The government had on Wednesday morning filed a 6-count amended charge against Kanu. However, it decided to stick with its previous charges of criminal conspiracy, intimidation, and member of an illegal organization against Kanu after it had been struck out by Justice Nyako, who stated that she was unaware of an earlier amended charge until she got to court in the morning. Justice Nyako berated the prosecution for filing the amended charge, that should be charges. So Justice Nyako berated the prosecution for filing the amended charges just hours before the ruling. So that's the salve and volley that transpired there, denied bail, but now it looks as though they hurriedly tried to, this is what they've been doing. They just dream up of ridiculous things and then arrive in court to say, we are charging him with this as well. We're charging him for not buttering his bread. We're charging him for breathing too much fresh air and all of this nonsense. So still with Kanu, federal government indicts NNAMDI Kanu's lawyers as accomplices in amended charges. So this might well be the charges that have since been withdrawn. The federal government has amended charges preferred against Nnamdi Kanu, the leader of the indigenous people of Biafra, IPOB. Recall at the last adjourned date, the judge squashed 8 out of the 15-count terrorism charges preferred against Mr. Kanu. However, at the resumed trial, 2 of his lawyers, Ifeanyi Ejiofor and Maxwell Okpara, have been listed as accomplices. They are accused of allegedly aiding Mr. Kanu to jump bail and flee the country. Mr. Kanu will again be rearraigned on fresh charges. So there it is right there. So accomplices in escaping justice, essentially what the charges are. Court rejects Nnamdi Kanu's bail plea. So this I think we've already covered, but let's just go through it to see if there's anything new. The Abuja Division of the Federal High Court has rejected the bail application of Nnamdi Kanu, leader of the proscribed indigenous people of Biafra, IPOB. Justice Binta, so I'm going to read it very fast. Justice Binta Inyako, in a ruling held that Justice Binta Inyako, in a ruling held that since Mr. Kanu was earlier granted bail in 2017 and jumped bail, the court must first determine the real reason he jumped bail before he reapplied for another. Ms. Nyako then dismissed the bail application. On April the 8th, the court exonerated the federal government on the allegations that the leader of the IPOB was forcefully abducted abroad to stand his trial. Ms. Nyako, in a ruling, held that rendition for criminal investigation is allowed. The judge said since Mr. Kanu was on a bench warrant, the law allowed that he could be arrested and be brought to face his trial anywhere he is cited. Ms. Nyako, who dismissed the IPOB leader's move to challenge the terrorism charges, upheld 7 counts in the fresh charge filed by the federal government against the IPOB leader. She said the federal government, through the Office of the Attorney General of the Federation, had been able to establish some allegations against Mr. Kanu in count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 8, and 15. After reviewing the 15 counts, she held that about 8 of the counts appeared to be similar and did not disclose action. She therefore ordered that counts 6, 7, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, and 14 should be struck out. She dismissed the argument of Mr. Ozokome, counsel for Mr. Kanu, that whether IPOB was a terrorist organization under the Nigerian law or not was still subject to appeal. So there it is right there. So they are appealing that IPOB is not a terror organization, but then part of the charges that they've levied against him in front of Justice Nyako is that he heads or is a member of a terror organization, a proscribed organization. So if that proscription is still subject of legal arguments, though, how can you then pronounce on a charge that presumes that he is? So that is what that space is all about. So I did say that I was bringing you a couple more stories that I did not trail in the first readout of the headlines. Court declares dancing Senator Ademola Adeleke authentic PDP candidate. Justice Nathaniel Emmanuel of the Federal High Court sitting in Osogbo has affirmed Senator Ademola Adeleke as the authentic candidate that would represent the People's Democratic Party in the July 16 governorship election in Osun State. The judge made the declaration whilst delivering judgment in a suit filed by a factional candidate of the PDP, Prince Dotun Babayemi. Babayemi had asked the court to be recognized as the authentic candidate of the party following the parallel primaries held on March the 9th. residents of the state will be heading to the polls on July the 16th to elect a new governor. So you recall, of course, that Adeleke, he won the Osun State elections the last time, and they bullied him with the EFCC, making up stories about his lack of certificate and whatnot, that he didn't sit his jam and somebody he didn't sit his WAEC. It's just the most ridiculous things. But then, of course, Nigeria, a ridiculous place. So let's go on to this. 2023, President Buhari's aide reveals presidential aspirant he would support. So this is somewhat, this gives us an insight, a glean into the workings of probably Malam Buhari's mindset. Former personal assistant so it's former now because he stepped down to contest for House of Rep or something, haven't stolen enough money, of course. Former personal assistant on new media to President Mohamed Buhari, Bashir Ahmed, on Wednesday, revealed the presidential aspirant he would support under the All Progressive Congress. According to Bashir, he would support Vice President Yemi Osinbajo, the national leader of the party Bola Tinubu, and former Minister of Transportation Rotimi Amechi, ahead of the presidential primaries of the ruling party. The former presidential aide, in a post on his Twitter account, then added that he would support whoever clinches the ticket of the ruling party. He wrote, "I will support Professor Osinbajo, Asiwaju Tinubu, Rotimi Amechi, or whoever gets the ticket." The presidential primary of the ruling party will be held on May the 30th to June the 1st. The likes of Yemi Osinbajo, Rotimi Amechi, Godswill Okpabio, Ogbonnaya Onu, and Emeka Nwajuabi will be contesting in the primary election of the party. Others are Governor Yahaya Bello, Senator Rochas Okorocha, and former Ogun State Governor, Senator Ibikunle Amosun. Pastor Tunde Bakare, Cross River State Governor Ben Ayade, his Ebonyi State counterpart Dave Umahi, Ekiti State Governor Kayode Fayemi, Senate President former Ken Namani, Jigawa State Governor Mohammed Badaru, and former Zamfara State Governor Senator Ahmed Yerima also in the race. So this is now the last readout, and then we'll see if anybody's in the room to take it on. So still with the Kanu'S Plea, and this might again be repetitive, but we'll see if we glean anything new from it. Court strikes out remaining charges against Kanu. So quite what this means, let's find out. Justice Binta Nyako of the Federal High Court in Abuja on Wednesday morning ordered that the 6-count amended charge against NNAMDI Kanu, leader of the outlawed Indigenous People of Biafra IPOB, be struck out. The implication of this is that Kanu has no case to answer. In April 2022, the court struck out 8 of the 15-count charges filed against Kanu by the federal government. Also on Wednesday, Justice Nyako said the absence of the defendant Kanu in court after his bail was granted in 2017 must be discussed before another bail can be granted. First, the defense is expected to apply for a fresh bail. During the resumed trial on Wednesday, Justice Nyako questioned the Department of State Services DSS on why the agency repeatedly flouted her court order. Earlier, security operatives barricaded the entrance of the Federal High Court Abuja. Kanu was rearrested in Kenya last June and transferred to Nigeria. So that storyline is somewhat deceptive because I think it's the new charges that were filed on the day that were dismissed and not the subsisting charges. So, gentlemen, I see you, Ajanle Koko the Mighty One, and our correspondent from Japan, Kanachewa, to you. So, Ajanle Koko, are you ready, or do you want me to go to World Peace first?
Yeah, I'm ready.
Brilliant. Good to have you, Ajanle Koko. So, Ajanle Koko, to you then. Article continues to labor that space of 2019, insisting that it was robbed. And it was robbed, blind and in open glare. The worst election in the history of Nigeria was what transpired in 2019. That's my position. What's yours, Ajanle Koko?
Well, it was clear to everybody that he was robbed of that free play. Um, INEC chairman, the Mahmood, or what is his name, is a very, how do I describe him? I don't even know how to describe that man. The
a very corrupt man.
You know, the way he went by that election shows that he's not the right man for that job. Article 1, everybody saw it because Buhari failed, and his first time was a failure, and you know, people came out and voted overwhelmingly against him. But you know, just like that report carries it, he used the
Power of incumbency.
Power of incumbency and everything, said everything in their favor. All the election that it went state by state, we saw it the way it was rigged.
It was the worst election. Remember, I don't know if you followed the Kano election. Whoever was contending against Ganduje, because that was just the election came very quickly after the pocketing dollar saga, and people were fed up. The guy that was in the PDP, it was about 300,000 votes ahead of him. They paused the counting, and by the time they resumed, they declared the Ganduje the winner. Unbelievable.
It's just
unbelievable. It is frightening, isn't it?
That is very frightening. It's frightening. It's very, very frightening. You see, that's why the next election, I know it's not going to be free and fair. APC want to use all the power within their reach to rig the election again. That is what they are going to do. They will come out with a fraudulent candidate, and they will put everything, the power of the state behind him, and rig the election. It's going to be very open. We're going to see it open, but what is going to be our reaction, that we cannot say. They are very desperate. They want to retain power, and they will use everything. They have been showing it to us. I mean, we have seen the way they govern this country. It's all calamity after calamity. They fail on all fronts that you can think about. Security, they fail. Economy, they fail. Political, stability of the country, they fail. They fail on everything. So there's no way Nigerians are going to vote for them again. Whether we like it or not, everybody is going through pains in that country. Economic hardship, crisis all over. So, but they will want to be...
Let me give you an interesting data. The population of Borno State is about 5.8 million people. But in that election, they declared well in excess of 1 million people voted in that election. Well in excess of 1 million. So out of 5.8, we know how demography works. They declared that well in excess of 1 million people voted. And close to 900,000 of those people, this is 2019, close to 900,000 of those people, they voted for Buhari. So that doesn't rhyme with demography and data, as we know, because we are expecting that the vast majority are young people, because that's the demography of Nigeria. So a good portion of that, maybe about 4 million of those are under 6 million people will be underaged. And a lot of people, they don't even register to vote. And the people that register to vote, they don't vote. So clearly, that 1 million is a travesty. But then if you look at Borno State, which is a war zone, are you saying that people were braving, over 1 million people, they walked through Boko Haram checkpoints? So this is what transpired in 2019. It's just so bad. It's just so bad. It's terrible, man.
It was so bad. And they're going to do it again this time around. 2023, they will do it again, because they did it the last time, and they escaped with it. So they still have all those they still have, they are still in control of all the agencies that they can use, to favor their candidate. And that is where Nigerians should be more concerned. We should be more concerned about the next election. Could it be free and fair election? That should be the question we should be asking ourselves. If they attempt it again the way they did it to 2019, what the response going to be, we don't know. It might lead into serious, crisis in that country because people are not going to take it. There's going to be crisis, and we don't know what is really going to happen. They rigged the election 2019. They robbed Atiku of that victory.
Sorry, Ajanle Koko, I must just give you another interesting data. The population of Anambra State is about 11.4 million. Do you know how many people voted in Anambra in that election? Under 600,000. So the population of Borno State under 6 million, but 1 million plus of them voted. The population of Anambra in excess of 11.4 million. Under 600,000 people are registered to vote. Anambra State, an educated elite state, and Borno State, an illiterate state that is ravaged with. It's a travesty. It's bad, very bad.
War. Very, very bad. So,
God, if you think about it, what are we even doing all this? Who we win? They will just tell you now that this is your new president. What can you do? What did we do in 2019? You will heal and cry and you will settle down.
You see, where they are going to get it wrong is this. If their primary in APC is not conducted in free and fair manner, if they manipulate that process and now impose a candidate that is not people's choice on them, then they will start to have problems from there. The party might break up, and how they are going to rig that election is going to be very difficult. They will go ahead and rig it, but the pushback will be very, very strong. You're going to see PDP, which these disaffected members of APC, we have Kwankwaso Party. You see, everybody will join forces and fight back strongly against the rigging, and that might be a very serious, might lead us into a very serious crisis, serious political crisis. So we have seen the way Buhari has governed, the way he has ruled for 7 years. So the idea of rigging and doing it again is not a problem for them because he ruled that country. He did not govern. They will want to brutalize their way through, saying, well, we have the police, we have the military, we have the INEC. The Mahmoud will still do it for them, but it's going to be very serious. What they did in 2019, it should be a concern to us, and the Nigerians should not allow it to happen this time. Why it happened the last time was that APC was still intact. All of them did it together and were able to get away with it. But this time, when the Black Party break away, for Buhari to now come and rig it again in favor of his own candidate, fraudulent candidate, that we have a very serious pushback from the people. Politicians across the country of opposing party will join forces in the fight against that rigging, and that could be the we don't know what will lead. It might break up the country, or it lead us into a very serious political crisis.
All right, it's a terrible situation. We keep permutating about politics as though we are expecting the voters to go and decide anything. The voters are, if the voters decide 2023 election, that will be the first time in Nigeria's history that the voters have decided anything.
It's getting dirtier every day. The political situation of the country and the what we are seeing as the way the game is being played, it's getting dirtier, and we should be concerned about this thing. Some forces, some cabal are trying to manipulate the system, to their own advantages. They want to manipulate it in a very fraudulent way, and the pushback is going to be very, very bad for the coexistence of that country. The coexistence of that country is going to be will be in very, very serious problem. We should be concerned about where we are heading to as a country politically. It's very bad, woman.
Do you see APC surviving past, as a party, surviving past 2023, surviving past this round of elections? Do you see it continuing as a party after these elections?
The only thing that can make it survive is the presidential primary, the process of their presidential primary. If it is free and fair, and the popular candidate emerges, yes, they will survive. If not, if they manipulate it and uses all the fraudulent means to impose unpopular candidates, no, they will not survive it. They will not survive it. We are seeing, you see, what is happening in Kano is a signal.
The Shekarau Kwakwanso narrative.
Yes, it's a signal that the party has begun to fall apart. So, Kano politics is one of the most dynamic, if not the most dynamic, in the country, because it's a state where we have three pillars of politicians that are in control, not in total control, but they share that state among themselves, and no one can convincingly win except they team up together, except two of them team up together. And so what we have in Kano now, that Shekarau and Kwankwaso teaming together, that's the end of APC in Kano. APC is dead. Forget about APC. APC cannot win election in Kano. You see, last Saturday, Kwankwaso went to Shekarau house to finalize his crossing to NNPP. What is the name of the party? New Nigerian People's Party, NNPP. Yes. The day after, Governor Ganduje ran to Shekarau house to persuade him to see how to see how he can counter that move by Kwankwaso. And in order for him to persuade them, he jettison his ambition of going for a senator after the completion of his term in office. He said, okay, I will give up my ambition and your group can have the senatorial seat, because it was so desperate to still retain Kankaso in APC. Ganduje was so there because he knew that if Kankaso should go with, Ganduje was Shekarau to go with Kankaso. That's the end of him politically in that state. So, what happened? Shekarau have moved. A lot of his people have already moved before this time into NNPC. So,
if they declare Kano for APC in 2023, that city will burn, because they don't take they don't take nonsense there. They don't
take nonsense. No. It is not going to be. It is going to be very hard for them to declare Kano for APC. It is going to be very hard, woman, because these two men are grassroots politicians, particularly Kankwaso. They are grassroots. They are really in control of the politics of the state. Ganduje is the weakest among them. It was just because that is a governor that make him a political vigor, make him as one of the power. But those that are really on the ground, number one on the ground is Kwankwaso, and followed by Shekarau. Now you see the most powerful joining forces together. That's the end of APC. So it has begun, and we have seen their member in some other states in the Northwest, some disenchanted member have already been moving into NNPC. So the party is breaking apart on a gradual basis now. So if they now go ahead and conduct a presidential primary that is not free and fair, that brought out a candidate that is not popular to the people, to the majority of people, no, that is the end. It will not, that party will be a party of the past. So the only thing that can still save them is the conduction of these presidential primary in free and fair, and a popular candidate emerges. Yeah, that can still, bring people together and then go in as one family into the general election. But if it is conducted in a fraudulent manner, the party will go. That'll be the end of APC, because we have seen them as a party of strange fellow that came together in a struggle for power and no agenda for the goodness of the country and the people, but just struggle of power and uses power to their own advantage, loot the resources. We have seen the way they are looting. Look at the accountant general they just accused of, they just arrested for
80 billion.
80 billion. Do you know how much this man has been stealing? That 80
billion is just small change. It's just what he looted on Tuesday. That's just the money he stole on Tuesday now. That's just 800 billion.
Possibly, maybe he didn't share it around enough.
Yes.
And some were angry about that. Say, what is this mess? No, we are going to fight against this. Maybe he didn't share enough to. What is that guy name?
Malami. Yeah. You know, Malami controls the FCC now, so whoever he wants jail is jailed. And if you don't, if you don't pay your field you don't pay your field to Oga at the top. Oh God.
This is your own 50%.
One chance.
This is 80 billion, but this is your own 50%. Yes. So that is the problem, woman. So the party might not survive this beyond the next election, and we just keep watching the space and see what's going to happen.
All right, let me take you on Ajanle Koko to the Nnamdi Kanu narrative, but I continue to be staggered by those data, by the data that I just read out. 4.8 million population of Borno, well in excess of 1 million votes. 11.4 million in Anambra State, less than 600,000 votes. The average education in Anambra State, a first degree. The average education in Borno State, primary 3. And they have.
Oh Lord!
What's the point now? What are we doing? It's a thing. You know, you can see why Atiku is still paid.
In
One must that again.
Primary 3.
I'm just guessing at it, but who goes to school in Borno when Boko Haram has told them that the education is not allowed? So it's a nonsense. It's a nonsense, you know. But so that wasn't the data. That was that was a guesstimation. But let me take so let me take you quickly then to the Nnamdi Kanu space. You know, always controversial. So court rejects Kanu's bail plea as federal government withdraws new amended charges. So it looks as though at the 11th hour, as usual, they've tried to levy even more charges against Nnamdi Kanu, but the court rejected that. They said the judge was somewhat irritated that how can you just a few hours for me sitting present new charges? So she dismissed those, but she also dismissed Michael Zokome's plea for Nnamdi Kanu to be granted bail, because Zokome's argument was that you are presumed innocent until found guilty, and if you are held in incarceration, then you are already being punished for a charge or charges that you have not yet been found guilty for. So that was his argument, that he should be granted bail. But the justice said no, that they have to look at the reasons and that he jumped bail in the first instance in 2017 before they can consider granting him bail again. So she said that bail application was premature. She also validated the renditioning of Kanu to say that there was a bench warrant outstanding for him, and that then facilitates for wherever he is cited, he should be arrested and brought back to court to continue with his trial. So that's what's emerged from the Kanu space. Ajanle Koko, your thoughts?
Well, we have to give kudos to the judge for rejecting fresh allegation that DSS brought up at the court against Nnamdi Kanu. Fresh charges rather that they brought up against Nnamdi Kanu. You remember they did that the last time as well, when it was when they brought him to court the last time. They brought in some fresh charges in addition to the original charges against him. They brought some more. So every time they go into court, they want to be bringing some fresh charges. This is an attempt to prolong the court trial and further keep this guy in detention, you know, because the more charges they bring up against him, the more cases the more cases against him, and the more he stay in detention. So we have to give kudos to the judge to reject those fresh charges. And on the
renditioning, she insists that it's legal because there's a bench warrant for his arrest, and he then to be arrested wherever he's cited, anywhere in the world, essentially cited in Kenya, arrested, and then brought back to face his trial. So she said that that's perfectly legal.
Well, some people will argue that. Some people will say that is not legal. The legal process should have been the government of Kanu, government of Kenya, to be involved in that arrest, and government of Kenya should have been the one to arrest him and hand him over to Nigerian mission and onward to transmission to Nigeria. But, you know, he was illegally arrested. He was not arrested through a legal means. It's not arrested in according to in compliance to the rule of law. He was kidnapped. Arrest someone is by showing somebody the proper document, the warrant of arrest paper, and said, this is why we are arresting you, and that person will comply and will be taken into custody. But somebody that was kidnapped, kept in a place for over 8 days, and tortured, and through the back door, taken out of that country to Nigeria, that is not in compliance to international
but all of these
law.
things still have to be established legally, because we're speculating as to the circumstances that brought him back to Nigeria. So we are working on the proposition that he was kidnapped, but his lawyers should challenge the circumstances of him getting back to Nigeria. Then we can establish factually if it was actually a legal process or an illegal process. So that's still to be established in front of a court or in front of a judge.
Yes. That is what is. That's the good, a great job that the lawyer should do. In defense of Kanu, that is not properly.
Because the judge said arrested. So if he wasn't arrested but kidnapped, then
it was kidnapped. Yes.
So so they have to establish that.
Yeah. Yes. The lawyer should be able to stand up, stand up for Kanu to argue that very word, to argue against that word arrest. It was not arrest. It was kidnapped, and that is against international law. Is against any law whatsoever when it comes to arresting somebody. People have to be arrested in compliance to the law of Nigeria. That is the law of Nigeria. You have to be issued a warrant. You have to be arrested. That is the same law, international law. So when Nigeria cannot called kidnapping as arrest is the what happened to Kanu was kidnap, was not arrest, and the lawyer should be able to fight that out for him, and we keep watching that space.
Ajanle Koko, it looks as though even the lawyers themselves, they might be in trouble. Some of the fresh charges that was levied that the judge did not allow to sit, but I suspect will be represented, is that the lawyers, Ifeanyi Ejiofor especially, and one other, they were complicit in his escape in 2017. So they are then charging even the lawyers as accomplices to effecting the escape of somebody that is that's in court to effect the jumping of bail of Nnamdi Kanu. So what are you making of that? Would that have some veracity? Would you think that the lawyers were complicit in effecting his jumping bail, Nnamdi Kanu?
Why are this how they are bringing up lawyer complicity? Hey, why not that from the beginning of this case? You see, the Nigerian state is just looking for all means to, delay the process and continue to hold that guy in detention, and somehow, if possible, manipulate the judiciary process. That lawyers are capable of defending themselves. They know the law better than anybody. So these fresh charges they're coming up with against NNAMDI Kanu, I don't see it as anything. I think it's just a tactics just to you know.
But his escape in 2017, surely it would not. It would not surely be outside of the knowledge of his lawyers. And if his lawyers were privy to this escape, even if they were not enablers, they did not alert the authorities, is that not somewhat complicit to somebody effectively committing a criminal act or of jumping bail? Is that not an argument, Ajanle Koko?
I don't think they can get anything out of these charges against Kanu's lawyer, because we also the way Nigerian state attack Kanu, the way they took military there, attack his house, kill about 28 people there. So how will he have? How did he know that? How would he have known that Nigerian state are coming after him, coming to attack him? And how would he have consulted with lawyer? How would the lawyer would have facilitated his escape? How would it have possible? And even if he have any discussion or any talk with his lawyer during this period or prior to this time, the law also allow it. His lawyer should be confident in the legal case. He must not be. He must have access to this lawyer 24/7. So what are they trying to? What are they saying? What is going to be their argument? I mean, they don't have anything. They just trying to. This is what we call atamotamo. They just want to jump from pillar to pole, trying to see as many possible people they can rope up in this Kanu's matter, confuse people, and then prolong this case, and in that process keep this guy in detention. And you know, they don't really have you see, they don't really have a good case in this. The way we are seeing this process, the way the process has been conducted so far, it looks like they don't have that good case against Kanu, and they are seeing it is working against them. They brought up 15 charges. 8 of the charges have been struck out by the judge. So the remaining in contention, it look like it's not going good for them, and they just, you know, trying to rope up some people, his lawyer, and just cause some confusion. So when they have a charges against the lawyer, that means that those lawyers will not be standing for Kanu. They have a court case to attend as well, and therefore the team of lawyers is going to be cut down, and you know, they just trying to cause some confusion among the Kanu's teams of lawyers. But I don't think this strategy is the best strategy for Nigerian state, and I don't think they're going to it's going to achieve anything for them. It's just they are just chasing shadow as far as I'm concerned, woman.
All right, thank you, Ajanle Koko. So let me take you from there then to Senator Adeleke's space. So he, of course, secures the PDP ticket again to run again to try and reclaim the mandate that was stolen from him just in 2019. Everybody's mandate.
Yeah,
stolen.
That's one of the elections they rigged too.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if you recall the exam malpractices and all that. Remember the narrative that was the backdrop to Senator Adeleke. Yes. I actually just went to look it up. Adeleke to be docked the 30th of October for exam fraud. This was in 2019. He will face, along with 4 others, a 4-count charge of personation. That should be impersonation. And registering, and registering as students of Ojoaro Community Grammar School, Ojoaro, Osun State, to enable him seat. So this is all of the things that they leveled against him in 2019 to diddle him out of an election that he won. So it looks as though he secured the ticket for PDP again, 2023. But the challenge is he's still hodling them. So one of the candidates, of course, he went to challenge him in court, but he won that victory. So he carries that ticket now. But then what happens to the exam malpractices that was levied in 2019 is the question. So Adeleke is still in play, the dancing senator. We will match them dollar for dollar, fire for fire. This is what he said.
Pounds, euro, everything. We watched the video now. He said we have the money to spend and to counter them.
Ajale Koko, for the benefit of our audience, let's just remind them who Senator Adeleke is. So here he is now campaigning. So let's just this is just a 30-second video. So let's share this with the audience just so they know who is in play. You know, the big beast that is Senator Adeleke. So here he is. Here he is. Oh,
go beyond subscribe. Click join and become a channel member. Support your.
You are the one to decide. You should already ever pay for ya. Provided to what you go one day.
So there it is, Ajale Koko, fire for fire, Nilote, dollars for dollar, pound for pound, euro for euro, Nigerian politics. There it is, Senator Adeleke coming to a state near you.
Yeah. So, well, if he has cleared his school certificate issue and is ready to go, well, we just wish him good luck. He's a very strong candidate.
It would be the worst thing to happen to Osun State, but if they vote for him, then they should have him, because you don't want somebody like that to really be a governor. But, you know, if that's what they want, then that's what they should get. You know, dollar for dollar, fire for fire. Imagine dollar for dollar, fire for fire. This is the politics.
Dollar for dollar, fire for fire politics.
Oh my God, Tipoti Kuku.
So it's a very strong candidate in the race. PDP is actually a very strong party in that state. APC rigged the last election. Otherwise, he will have been the governor now. But they rigged it as they rigged the presidential. But this time, if he's cleared by the court, or his certificate, he has gotten his certificate in order, and is the nominee of the party, it's good to go. What are we going to do? And like you said, one man, if people of Osun State by tomorrow, you know, give him their vote, and the emerges as the winner, they will.
So what ministerial portfolio will Davido get, you know?
Well, Minister of
Chioma, my love, and all that.
Commissioner for Entertainment.
Miliki is,
You know, it was that. You know You know his plan. Their plan then was that they are going to. If he had won the last election, they were planning to bring like a musical industry to Osun State. You know, Davido was planning to bring you know, something like a musical.
It will bring Michael Jackson to Osun State.
Musical industry, musical this thing.
Music festival. A yearly music festival.
A yearly music and all the rest. He wanted to build a studio and do all sort of entertainment, bring some entertainment industry to Osun State. That was it. That was their plan. Maybe they're gonna do it again. But well, like you said, I, for one, will not give him my vote because he's a fraudulent guy, a person that cannot.
It's a dunce, really, isn't it?
Yeah, a person that cannot pass WAEC examination, a person that was, you know, using a fraudulent WAEC result, fraudulent educational certificate. Is a fraudulent person. That person should not be entrusted with the wealth of the state to manage the wealth of the state. He will be there to loot. So what is he going to do? Special for the people.
If I may interject, you know, Makinde wanted his younger brother. He wanted his younger brother. You know that, Ajani Koko.
Makinde wanted who for what?
Adeleke's younger brother, the other cousin, the younger one.
Oh, okay. Yeah. And that one is well educated. Yeah,
he's well spoken, just as Makinde, just as smart as Makinde.
Yeah,
you understand. But you know, I think the side of Fayose was the one that wanted. I mean, there was a fight. You know, like.
But he has popularity, though, Senator Adeleke. You have to say he has that people thing.
Yes.
He's the one. Look, we have been saying this when we talk about structure in the party. He is the one in control of the structure of PDP in Osun State. He's a person to beat. His candidate for other elected position are the people to beat in the party. He controls the party.
Yeah, we know that. What Makinde was looking at is that we need a sound person here. You know, we don't, you know, but that's just Nigerian politics. Whoever controls this, whoever does this will come. And I mean, I don't know what this guy is going to do, really. I don't know, except
look at that. They are getting professors and PhDs in the Southeast, and in the Southwest, they are getting fire for fire, dollar for dollar. Fire for fire, dollar for dollar.
Except he brings capable people around him, you know. Except he brings people.
It doesn't strike me as somebody that it strikes me as a good time fellow, a good time. Onemiliki Faji.
Someone to just hang out with and drink beer.
Yes, you know, a party every minute at State House. You know, bring your.
Haven't you seen this guy dancing before? He can dance very well, though.
Of course, we know that. He's a dancing.
That guy is a good dancer. With his big body, if you see him rolling that stomach, shaking the butt and every I say what?
Yeah, that guy Makinde and Sanwo-Olu, I mean, those are the stars, you know, in the Southwest. I don't see. I think.
Yeah, the one we have in Ondo and Ogun State is a fraudster too.
Ondo, they are just educated fraudsters. Ondo, I'm sorry to say,
Ogun State. That one has been in jail here in America.
Yeah, we know the Ogun State, but the Ondo State. I mean, a son for that matter, he is not trying. You know, that
one have his son in charge of all the contract in the state.
What education? What education? What is this education? What did he do for them? I don't understand. Is it to be stupid?
Yeah. So Adeleke is the one in control of the party in that state, and him and his group within the party.
Actually, Adeleke's family controls Osun State now.
They don't.
Yes,
they
do. They do. Osun State belongs from right from their patriarch Ishaka Adeleke.
Isiaka
The one that
Adeleke.
the one that died, the former governor.
Yeah.
Yeah, the one they
Governor.
call Sheruba.
Sheruba.
His name was Sheruba. Yeah,
And then
Jawala.
governor.
You know.
So
That time,
after the
anyway.
after the death of that one, he inherited that structure, and that
That
is
was
the
Davido's father.
No.
Sheruba.
The person that inherited the structure was the former senator that died. The other senator
The
that
senator
died.
that died very strict structure.
Yeah,
He was
nobody. This guy was nobody. They just say, okay, because
no. You don't understand. That one that died, Adeleke, is the brother to this one.
Yes. He had the structure, and then when he
had
died,
the structure, and when he died, this one took over the structure. Yeah, that one too. This one took over the structure.
Yeah, that's why he came from America to take the senator this thing. They gave him a matter of gold.
All right. Ajale Koko, let me share one more.
Hold on.
Go on. Yeah.
Can you take us back to that? I'm sorry, I don't want to take you back. That Fayemi and Oshomoles. We didn't really trash it yesterday. Fayemi and Oshomoles issue of asking them to read.
Okay. When I get to you may revisit it. But let me share one more. Senator Adeleke for Ajale Koko's delectation, and then I'll move on to Brownberry. So here is Senator Adeleke again, just a delightful, it shouldn't be in politics really, it should be in comedy. It should be in comedy, but here he is. Is there a more ridiculous man on this planet? You cannot be more ridiculous on this planet than that man. If you are more ridiculous than that guy, you're a retard. It's unbelievable. Unbelievable, but there he is, the next governor for Osun State.
But the battle is gonna be tough because the present governor there, according to information, it could be propaganda. They say he did a lot of things. The salaries of workers that were owed by what's the name of that Afar that is fighting Tinubu? What's his name? Yeah, he paid them off, and building roads, is doing something. So it looks like it's popular. Is popular as well, but PDP is as well popular. Adeleke family.
In a free election, Adeleke will defeat. I don't think anybody cares for Yetola, even after 4 years. I don't think they care for him in Osun State, especially.
So, but Adeleke family, the name, that dynasty name is a household name in politics of Osun State, and people of Osun State really they like them, and let's see, maybe they will give it to him this time. But this is not the kind of people that should be our leader. He's a fraudulent guy. I don't think he have anything.
But Oshomole was a governor too now. He was also jumping like this.
Yeah, but Oshomole is somewhat educated now. This one is just, and Oshomole is not as, this guy is just a clown. We have to say that.
When they asked Oshomole to bring his certificate, he went and burned down the education. You didn't hear that?
He burned down the Ministry of Education, and he gave Buhari the same idea to go and present what's it called, MOU. Oshomole did. He burned down the education, Ministry of Education. He went to bring this thing. What's it called? Affidavits. You go and swear an MOU that you once went to school. How they say?
All right. It looks as though the certificates they are issuing in Nigerian institutions now is affidavits. So when they ask people, when they ask politicians to present their certificates, it's affidavit. They never gave me an affidavit when I finished school. They gave me a certificate, but the Nigerian politician, it's affidavits they give them. So let's go on from Ajanle Koko to Brownberry. But before we go on to Brownberry, let's acknowledge Alexander Gomez's super chat. So breaking news, their mother was an influential Igbo woman from Akwete, Abia State, the Adele case. So that intermixing between the Yorubas and the Igbos is something that is long established. So quite why we continue to squabble with each other I'm not quite clear. So breaking news, their mother was a very influential Igbo woman from Akwete, Abia State, the Adeleke. So thank you for the insight and the super chat, Alexander. So Alexander Gomez speaks to the space as we hear Brownberry speak to this space. So you wanted to revisit a story. Usually I don't like to go back to previous stories, but we did not expand enough on it, you are saying. So Shomole, he informed that Fayemi was asking him to just pretend to run an election, but install a candidate that he had already predetermined, which is, of course, how we suspect that Nigerian elections always run. He told him that to get lost. So that was what Oshomole asserted. Fayemi came back to say that he's suffering from post-traumatic stress disorder and the back and forth between the two of them. Brownberry, you wanted to speak to that.
You see, these two individuals, they are both criminals. We know we know what they were doing. Even the Ekiti election, we know it was rigged. You know, we know how Oshomole brought boys from those states. We saw those boys. Some of us, we know those boys. We know how they were, how they were acting. You know, so Oshomole was just when he got that power, it became became crazy, just acting like a lunatic. Doing whatever he wants to do. But whatever the governor of Ekiti is saying right now, he's just trying to hide his face. I don't know why they're bringing this. They're just coming to fool themselves because everybody knows that this was what they were doing. So that's just it for that, and they should be ashamed of themselves.
All right, thank you. So that's somewhat we did not quite expand on that storyline. So Brownberry adds a bit more insight. So Atiku insisting that he was cheated out of the 2019 election. A lot of people sympathize with that assertion because we saw it play out in open glare. On this platform, there was a time I never stopped shouting about server or no server. When INEC got about close to $1 billion to have servers for the election, and they're telling us that they don't have servers, they were telling the electoral operatives in the field to signal to transmit, because they had these voter reader cards, to transmit their data from their device to a central port. So what's that central port other than a server? And then they're declaring fantastical figures in Borno, and they're delivering they just wiped out the whole of the vote in the southeast. They told us about 35 to 40% in the southeast who voted. It's just a total travesty. So Atiku still continues to alarm on that space. But Brownberry, do you have any sympathy for him? Brownberry?
This is now, that's what we call Agberu government. I mean, everybody is scared of Buhari. Buhari will put you in check. Just everything, whatever he wants, he will do. People will come and, his people will come and say, "Oh, he's the best president they've ever had." For Atiku, I don't have any sympathy for him. You know why? Because if I lose out of anything, if I know that the way I lost was not, I was cheated out, I will continue to talk. He has never spoken anything. He has even received APC delegates several times. The former chairman, all of them went to his house. They are felicitating together. Is that how they do politics? If you are in opposition, you be an opposition. Not that this one is doing party, you are there. That one is doing party, you are there. You have not been complaining. You have not been saying
no, that's not true. He has attacked this administration on many grounds, on their policy and stuff.
When I mean attacking the administration, is he attacking Buhari itself? Because let me just tell you what they do from the north.
No, Buhari is a look, when they, yes, he has criticized him on so many fronts, on so many issues and stuff like that. You cannot really say in entirety that he has not been talking. He cannot be talking all the time, but okay.
Let me tell you how the PDP in the north, the PDP, mostly the candidate Tambuwa, Atiku, Saraki, all of them, the way how they criticize people, as they criticize, they don't criticize Buhari. They will say APC, what APC is doing, when they know who is doing it. You know, so all this coming, I know everybody know he won the election, but you know who did it. Don't come here to be telling us everything. Oh, APC government, APC government. You will go straight direct to the leadership of the APC. This is what he's doing. This is what he's doing. This is what he's doing wrong. This is what he's doing not wrong. Don't be cutting corners because you are scared, or because you know that if you criticize him, you know they will not. People from that side will not vote for you. You are criticizing the APC as the whole. You are not criticizing the person at the head, because the person at the head, he's the one that is taking all the shooting all the shots. So that man, he has already, again now he also shot himself again by deleting that tweet that he would have stood by. He would have just stood by that tweet. He didn't do that, and he would have been able to.
That was a big error on his part.
Yes, he would have been able to say a lot of things to like that guy was saying last time, to educate a lot of people, but he didn't do that. He deleted it. Now he's running away from the question, and they are going to keep asking him that question. He's one of those people. Him and Tinubu, they are the only two people that has not come to like channels or the major media houses in Nigeria to grant an interview. We've not seen them because they'll be asked questions. Mostly him, mostly on this one. He lost a lot of delegate vote on this one, mostly from the middle belt. The Christians from the middle belt. I mean, all the delegates there, they are not all Muslims. Majority of them are from the North Central as well. Even in Northeast, there are a lot of Muslims, a lot of Christians there as well.
All right, Branberry. Let me take you to the Nnamdi Kanu space. So he's had his day in court, and as ever, a lot of controversy emerges from that space. So, just some of the pronouncements that came out. The judge rejected his bail application, saying that it is premature because she wants to hear the reasons why he jumped the first bail before she gives consideration to another bail. She also said that it was perfectly legal the way he was brought from Kenya because there was a bench warrant for him. So, and then they tried to file new charges, which she dismissed. So all of that are Branberry.
I said it before that the way he was brought from, even though we are calling the rendition, I mean, country will do whatever they want to do. They will do whatever they want to do to get whoever they want to get. So, now they got him, and when it comes to, they are not going to release him now. We said this before. I mean, they're just going to keep postponing it. All these cases they are bringing on his lawyers now is just to rub everything around, just to make sure that they just slow everything down until Buhari leaves. Binta is not going to grant him bail. She's not going to grant him bail. This is just going to continue. Anytime he comes, they will bring more charges, and they will say, "Oh, grant him bail." And Binta will say, and Binta, she's going to say something, or keep him there again. They are not going to grant him bail now. That's just the bottom line.
All right, thank you. But if they present strong enough an argument to justify him jumping the first bail, so that clears the deck for him to be granted bail again, because his lawyers are rightly argued that there has to be a presumption of innocence, and if you are presumed innocent, then you cannot be held in incarceration pending a verdict from a court of law. So if they are able to present sufficient enough of a convincing reason why he had to effect his escape, which they termed as jumping bail, then that clears the deck for them to be able to apply for bail again. She opened the window for them to reapply.
Oh, they will reapply, but they are not going to get it. It's simple because the prosecutors are going to come and say, look, when he jumped bail, he didn't just jump bail, he left the country, and also he was antagonizing the federal government. I'm not saying this. I'm just saying I'm not saying this as somebody that's against Nnamdi Kanu. I'm just analyzing it as what will happen. You understand? So that's what I'm analyzing. So.
All right. And the charges against his the federal government indicts Nnamdi Kanu's lawyers as accomplices in amended charges. So they say they were somewhat complicit in his in jumping bail, essentially, in the first instance, and they want to put his lawyers on the dock as well. Do you see any logic to that? Is there any rationale to that? Do you concur with that?
No, there's nothing they can do about that because they're just going to be dragging. They are just going to be, putting a lot of charges here and there. But lawyer will, no matter how high, what you did, whether you killed 10 people today, you destroy a whole city, lawyers will always stand by, even if they know everything you did. They're not going to come and tell the government this is what my client did. So that's their job, even if they know how he escaped. It's not the business of it. That is not the business of the federal government.
All right. Thank you, Brownberry. So, Brownberry, for reasons of time, let me go on to Victor. I'm only going on to Victor because he's connecting to us from Nigeria, and you know how notorious that connection can be. It can dip in and out, but we always enjoy hearing from Victor anytime he joins us. So, Victor, are you there?
Yes, I am here, one man. Good afternoon.
Brilliant. Good to have you, Victor, as always. So Victor joins us, and of course, I start off with where we started off. Article still feeling aggrieved, but you have some sympathy with him. He insists that he was cheated in 2019, and a lot of people, myself included, agree 100%. So Article still crying over spilled milk.
Yeah, he was cheated, but that's what they do. Like when a player gets played, come on, it's the game. I don't feel any form of pity for him. He was cheated, but that's exactly what they do. He has gone from one party to the other, one to the other. They all possess those characteristics. Please let them play their game the way they play it. I don't have any sympathy for either of them, really.
All right, to the NNAMDI Kanu'S Plea. So the retinue of pronouncements that came out, the judge asserted that there's legal groundings for his rendition in because there was a bench warrant outstanding for him, which states that then wherever he's cited, his arrest should be effected and brought back to continue with his trial. So she validates the rendition in of Nnamdi Kanu, but she used the word arrested, which is a space that his lawyers might be able to explore. She also said that she was not going to grant him bail until she hears the reasons why he absconded from the first bail. So all of that, Victor.
Yeah, I think there is a good ground for him to actually jump bail. It was a very unsmart move for the military to have gone to his house just barely 2 days before his court appearance. The motive for that has really not been explained. Like I still don't get the reason why they had to go to that house, because definitely all your rights stand justified whenever your life is threatened. You can't come to my house with guns and expect me to stay around and hope that after I'm shot dead, then I'll go to court and I'll be proven right. Like, it doesn't make any sense. That is a fault, by the government themselves, by that military invasion of his house. Then, of course, not granting him bail. The courts definitely should act like they didn't know that his house was invaded until they present it to them, and crystallize their arguments. So that's for them to decide. Just as I have noted, the guy that spoke earlier said they are just going to dilly-dally until this administration is over, and that's actually what I think. They are just going to play around till time. Of course, people age with time, and people change their mind with time. So time is also a potent weapon too.
Nnamdi Kanu is essentially a political prisoner. But let's not say that in totality, because there are reasons to say that he has criminal charges to face, especially some of the pronouncements on Radio Biafra and some of the consequences of those pronouncements. But the overarching texture of it is that it's essentially a political prisoner, and they will they will hold him in custody until it's politically expedient for them to use him as a tool. So it's just being held until they can use him.
Yeah, I think that's correct. Everything in Nigeria ends up in a game. That's the most unfortunate part. That even when people's life are at stake, it's called a game. Yeah. So for whatever reasons they are holding him, they will always use it for their political gains. And actually he's now in their net. Even though he has some fight to put off, but we will only watch and see. They will keep. The government keeps coming up with new amended charges. Next week, you're still going to hear another new amended charges, and it's going to go on until this whole thing gets boring and tiring for everybody, and maybe they decide to come to a round table or something, or they decide, or they create another Boko Haram out of this whole situation.
Do you think they want to break him mentally? Because there's a feeling that they want to break him mentally in Nnamdi Kanu. Do you think that might well be part of the plot, the ploy?
Then if they had wanted to do that, there are better ways to do that. Like, there are other ways. Like, they even are not good at doing it. That's the surprising thing. If that's the goal, they should go ahead and achieve it. It's actually possible. It's achievable, Yeah, but let them. I'm not even seeing a serious attempt on their side to actually mentally break him. I don't see that. Knowing how resilient he has been, I don't see any frantic effort to actually do that. I don't know why.
All right, Victor, still within Nnamdi Kanu space, some of the fresh charges that were presented and dismissed was to indict the lawyers for Nnamdi Kanu for being complicit in his jumping bail in 2017. So there's a lot of reasoning to suggest that Nnamdi Kanu could not have fully. Maybe he could have. Of course, he would have escaped on the day when his compound was attacked outside the knowledge of his lawyers. But then facilitating his escape from the country, there's an argument to be held that he could not have facilitated his escape from the country outside the knowledge of his lawyers. So the government are saying the lawyers are somewhat complicit in his escape, and they are indicting them and to present them in front of the judge. So what are you making then of this new charge being proposed by the government?
First, that would be so difficult for them to do, and secondly, like, what is it their duty? Was it the lawyers that sent the army in the first place to that place? Like, to me, that one particular one is actually very ridiculous. You are heaping the burden of the security architecture on the legal defense. Why has their job now turned from representing their client to working for the army? Like, when did their job change from? They should do their investigation and their job. You for the fact that I can help you does not mean I must help you. That's what I mean. Like, I don't think they have any. They're just essentially going to waste time until this.
They're scrambling around that day. They're scrambling around.
Exactly. That's what I think what they have succeeded in doing is detaining this guy, spending time, at least for the administration to be over. Maybe the next administration will have him to handle, whichever way they want, but that's, for me, is what they are aiming at,
Well, all right, thank you, Victor. And on the dancing senator, Osun State, coming to a state near you, would you want Senator Adeleke to be the governor of your own home state? Victor, he knows how to dance, and he knows how to sing.
Yeah, actually, yeah, and unfortunately, his younger cousin or his younger relative, Davido, has already taken over that space. He should get more serious. Governance is a serious job. It's not for dancers, you can be a dancer, but do you have those are not the kind of people I would personally vote for. I don't know. I don't think the situation of the country now is not. It doesn't require. Yes, just doesn't require those kind of play. What kind of utterance is that will match them dollar for dollar? What is like? Why do people make this kind of statements? Is where do they learn these things from? And these are people that came from abroad. Like, where did you live? What kind of country did you live in? Where have you seen this done? I don't know. These people, man.
You should see his house in America is like a small village. It's so big.
Such level of uncountness, I don't know. These are not the kind of characters you want to entrust the funds of a state, the security of a state, the entire architecture of a state in their hands. Those are not the kind of people, you know. I admit that there are very intelligent, fraudulent people. They are very bright, young, and yet very fraudulent people. I know that. But at least you should have some of those traits now so that we can at least begin to build some level of confidence for you. I don't know how to really trust this kind of a person. It's difficult. You know, where will he get the dollar he's going to spend? And is he such a charitable person? If not, let him go and start building roads now. And don't worry being a governor.
I saw this is going back a while. I saw Davido on a American something. They call him breakfast club. Charlamagne the God. Yeah, it was saying that his family, they're worth in excess of $800 million.
Yeah. And then why is that the seat of that governor so important to them?
That's why now.
Why is this so important?
His father owned a very big hotel, island hotel. I think is it Fiji?
Fiji Island.
Yeah, I think Fiji Island. Yeah.
Look at that. But what is his source of income? What business is he doing?
He made money when his brother was a governor now.
What does that mean? It's in their hands. So that's it now.
What
is the job of Tinubu that is a multi-dollar billionaire? What is his job? He's only ever been
I think Davido's dad is a medical doctor. If I didn't get it right,
well, I thought he was into oil. That was just saying my thought.
I know you own the Fiji. You own the big island hotel.
Oh yeah, he's a very rich man.
Because my wife I've stayed in that hotel, in his hotel. Oh, okay. He would make me know when he came back, like he stays in Davido's father's hotel. I'll say we are the island they went to. They went there for a wedding.
It's all funny when you hear, you know, the moment you hear someone is into oil and gas, that is a certificate to own any amount of money you want in this country. You know, like it's already that's the
billionaires in Nigeria. All the billionaires in Nigeria are connected to that industry.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So there must be some serious fraud going on in that place.
All right. So I was just checking because you were saying, this is Davido's father. Ishaka Adeleke was born on the 15th of April, 1955 to the family of Senator Ayola Adeleke and Esther Adeleke. He was born in Enugu State and spent his early years in the city until the beginning of the Nigerian Civil War. He started his primary education at Christ Church School, Enugu, before moving to Ibadan. He completed his secondary education at Ogbomoso Grammar School. Adeleke holds a Bachelor of Arts degree and a Master's degree in Public Administration. He was Chairman, Governing Council, Nigerian Export Promotion Council, Pro-Chancellor and Chairman, Governing Council, University of Calabar. So he was the uncle of Davido. So yes, that is Shaka. Okay. So just checking the CV. So thank you, Victor. So Victor, let's go on then to World Peace. So just to make sure that we've covered all the voices. So World Peace to you and to the space of article, just weeping and gnashing over events in the past. So what are you making then of article? I was cheated.
Thank you, one man. I heard Angelico speaking about article. Said he has been attacking a Buhari government. So I wonder where. When he lost his last election, he went to Dubai and sit down. He didn't condemn he has never condemned Buhari government, to my knowledge, anyway. Probably
He does that routinely.
Yeah, I'm happy that one man is confirming that.
I said,
routinely.
I don't know. I said maybe I don't know, but but Buhari's son's wedding, he was the father of the day. He sat down to how they do their tradition and their own culture. He represents Buhari. He stood for the father. He stood for Buhari as the father of the day. Now he's saying this now at the end of Buhari government regime. I don't know what he's trying to get out from it anyway, but his own is mouth. He can say whatever he wants to say. And the case is in court. Well,
no, the verdict has already come in, and they told him to get lost. That was Tanko Mohammed.
so it's finished. He should contest again, and that's it. To me, I feel no pity for him.
All right, to Nnamdi Kanu and just the retinue that came out from that space, court rejects his appeal for bail. The judge saying that the appeal for bail was premature because she doesn't yet have a documented reason why he absconded the last bail. So she granted him bail, he absconded, and now reapplying. It was brought back to the court. They are applying for bail again. So she's saying that it's premature. She wants them to solidify why he escaped in the first instance before she gives consideration to that. So that, and she was also saying that the renditioning of Nnamdi Kanu from Kenya is perfectly legal because there's a bench warrant for his arrest, which then says that he should be arrested and brought back to court wherever he's cited. So all of that are world peace.
Yeah, I think I spoke about this Nnamdi Kanu arrest and bail jumping. I said before this, there was a motion in court they put a motion. There was a motion in court they filed about the jumping of bail. So now the motion have passed and was refused. I wasn't surprised. It was what I was waiting for because he jumped bail. Like Victor said, the Nigerian army, this government, Buhari government, they do something like animal. 2 days before his court, they went to his place, Python dance, which I did not agree to. But on the other hand, he broke all his release terms, bond or whatever agreement, the terms they gave to him when they released him on bail, and he jumped bail. Whoever jumped bail. There's no excuse to that. But he will go and defend why he jumped bail, which is his right to do. And his Justice Yanko was right to not hear the case because you cannot do this pre-existing case before on that, so you cannot grant him a second bail. It's not done, which is just normal. That is just law. And then the rendition in part, like I said before, he was not kidnapped. He was arrested. Itapo have put a red put on flag his name, so he was arrested anywhere they found him. So I don't know why people are clamoring that he was rendition. He was arrested. He's in court.
Are you serious? Are you serious?
Yes,
so
I'm serious.
I mean, you can't be talking like this. You are well educated.
Okay, let me ask you a question.
No,
are you not telling me? Let me ask you a question.
Hold on.
Let me ask one question before you explain.
I don't know what you have against Kanu.
I don't have anything against Kanu. I just want to ask you a question.
Good.
Let me ask you a question. Are you not telling the world that Nigeria sneaked into Kenya, unknowing to the Kenyan government, and kidnap Kanu there and bring him to Nigeria?
Hold on. What is the position of Kenya on the Kanu kidnap?
Okay, first of all, answer the question yes or no, then before we move to your own question.
No, wait. I will answer your question, but I want you, what is the position of Kenya? Kenya said they don't know anything about it. Supposed to be Kenya security agent or Interpol that will be responsible for that arrest. If truly he was arrested, it should have been Interpol under the watchdog of Kenya authority. But you see, he was kidnapped by some people they don't know, and the Kenya state said they don't know anything about it. They are not aware about it. They are not involved, and they are calling for their exoneration because they know it's totally against international law. And you are saying on this program that is arrest. You ought to know better now. It's not arrest. It was kidnap and rendition.
No, I think what World Peace is saying is that the circumstances has to be established in court before we can.
No. One man, that is not what he's saying. He said the way the judge denied him is right because he jumped bail and he believed what happened as per the way he was taken to Nigeria was an arrest and not kidnap. That is his position. He said it was not kidnap, that he was arrested. And that's why
we don't have it established that he was kidnapped, because the circumstances of him being brought back to Nigeria is not documented.
Yeah, but
we can speculatively conclude that he was kidnapped, but we can't assert confidently that he was.
When Kenya authorities said they did not arrest him, they were not involved, they don't know what happened, that is enough to tell us that he was kidnapped. He was not arrested. Who arrested him? Interpol did not say they arrested him. Kenya security.
The Kenyan position is somewhat ambiguous. It's not solid enough. Because their statement is a bit wishy-washy.
No, it's not wishy-washy. It's very clear. They said they were not involved in it. They don't know anything about it. That's what they said. One man, we have treated it here. You have brought it here to us. Kenya's position is very clear that they were not involved in his arrest. They are not involved in the kidnapping. They didn't know anything about it. So how did he get out of the country?
Wait, one man. Sorry, Jekoko.
No,
this is your own. Wait now, hold on. This
you have something. Opinion. You just don't like Kanu. Just make it clear. You just don't like him, and you want to say everything against him all the time.
Don't put words in my mouth. Hold on.
Okay,
this is your own opinion, and you are entitled to your opinion, but you're not entitled to facts. The fact is there. A Chief Justice of Nigeria just said it's not a rendition. And you're
not a Chief Justice, a High Court judge.
A High Court judge just said, okay, a judge said it's not a rendition. And you see saying they're kidnapping. Kenya have not made international or local or new statement that he was kidnapped for their country.
They've not challenged the Nigerian state. Kenya has not challenged the Nigerian state.
We are educated here now. Your opinion is fine, but don't speak to the fact on the public domain. Like
no. One man.
I might not be that educated as you, but I will speak from a layman perspective, which is very simple.
Hold on. Let Ajale Koko interject you. Yeah, Ajale Koko.
Okay. One man, you have brought it here several times. Kenya's position is very clear. They said they didn't know how he was arrested. They didn't know how he was kidnapped, and they were not part of it. So that is clear that
Sorry, Ajale Koko. The Kenyan position, because like you said, we've treated it, in fact, several times on this platform.
Yes, several times.
They came out to say that they have documentation. They stamped Nnamdi Kanu into their country. But they did not stamp him out. So they then could not account for how Nnamdi Kanu was suddenly in Nigeria being presented.
One man.
Can you hold on? They could not account for how Nnamdi Kanu was suddenly presented in front of a judge in Nigeria to continue with his trial. So that's what they said. So the onus is now on them, because when a person is within the sovereign space of a country, that person is under the protection of that country, and the country, they have account for that person. So if this guy was stamped into your country, you did not stamp him out, and is suddenly being presented in another country to stand trial, you then have to, because your sovereignty is being challenged. Your sovereignty is being challenged, but
That's
they've
right.
not taken an aggressive position, which is to tell you that they are somewhat complicit.
They are complicit.
Why not taking an aggressive position if their sovereignty is being rubbished in the manner that Buhari has done? So all of that still to be established. So just how complicit are they is really the thing.
Yes, their position is that they were not involved in his arrest and they should count them out. He came into their country, how he left, how everything happened. So what peace? That is not an arrest. Arrest is done illegal. Hold on. Just listen, man. In law, arrest must be carried out legally. When it's not legal, then it's not an arrest. Just understand it. That's what I'm telling you.
Okay, thank you. Jagoko, they say you're innocent until proven guilty. Not until Kenya or international committee prove otherwise that Kanu was kidnapped from Kenya. Right now, it's arrest.
Can I ask you a question, please?
Hold on.
Hold on, please.
You ask a question.
And let Chris come in. But land your statement. War Peace, and then let Chris come in.
Yeah. So we just speaking to the fact and the fact on ground. He be kidnapped, not kidnapped. That is subject on that day. But now it's arrest. Now they're bringing new charges. Of course, Nigerian state will always bring charges. They will hurry up and bring more charges and more charges, and they are stroking out some charges just to probably delay that, which is normal. Every freedom fighter will expect that one. And they will bring up new charges upon charges. That of adding his lawyer, what's it called, Ejiofor?
Yes.
I wasn't surprised about it because at one time that guy was like a spokesman for the IPOB. So indicting him, he should be expecting it. But he's a lawyer, so I know he will know the technology to maneuver it, that space. So Chris, you can ask a question.
Yeah, Chris.
Thank you. It's my question is the judge being a fair arbitrator in this issue? Do you think she's free of conflict of interest, or she's just
why do you say that?
Well, first of all, her husband is an elder in the APC, and she's a Fulani woman, and we all know how Nnamdi Kanu came down on the Fulani tribe.
Nnamdi Kanu also insulted the Yoruba. So if a Yoruba judge
made peace with the Yoruba,
what do you mean made peace? What do you mean? He continuously insulted the Yoruba. So if the Yoruba was there, would you not? She's a qualified judge sitting on a matter.
Oh, and secondly about Ejiofor.
And that case was had always been with her.
And let's ask. I want to ask what peace, if it was appropriate, what country have you seen the government trying to kill someone's lawyer?
Trying to kill?
Yeah, they tried to kill Ejiofor. Have you seen the video when they invaded his house?
No, we actually played it here. Yes,
I remember. Why is what peace laughing? What is your bias?
No. You have the conversation without sentiments. Yeah. So
ask America and the United Kingdom where you live. Look, hold on, because the issue we're having is we are using sentiment. Me, I'm Nnamdi Kanu supporter as well. We have to say it the way it is. We are in it right now. We just why would they do this? Why would they do it? It's not they did it because they are it's a country will do whatever they want to do. We just have to say that.
My brother, first of all, Nnamdi Kanu came up because of this kind of treatment, injustice, how people.
We know that.
Hold on, my brother. Hold on.
You are talking about something reality.
Hold on.
But that narrative, that narrative of Justice Nyako being a Fulani woman, and then that compromises her, I think you have to abandon that. That doesn't cohere. The case was with her all the way through. So why should she be recused? For what reason? Because Nnamdi Kanu insulted the Fulanis. He insulted everybody. He insulted everybody, so that means nobody can sit apart from an Igbo person on his case. He insulted everybody now.
Chris.
Can I my point? You
Chris,
guys are just
before you land your point, let me ask you one question. Do you know the army general that is leading the battalion in East against this unknown gunmen, or maybe ESM, or you could say? Hold on now. Hold on.
It makes no difference, my brother.
He's an Igbo man. Hold on, he's an Igbo man. He's an Igbo man, right?
What does that have to do with? What does that have to do?
Hold on, Vin. Vin, please. You've heard the tone of the conversation, so let's keep that tone. We don't want to turn it into So
no. I just want to make my opinion. I'm not going to
go on. Yeah, go on. Yeah, go on, Vin. We're listening.
Okay, you see, one man. There is something. You see, whatever that is going on in Nigeria today, we speak out here as abnormality. We condemn them here. I know, as a former military man, I would not stand here and condole evil on any person, because I fight under the umbrella of Nigeria, and it is not in the habit of any professional soldier to kill innocent people. That being said, when we come out here, we condemn all those things that were happening. Even the recent one that happened over there, you saw people coming out to defend and encourage people to go on and do more. These are evil or abnormalities that are going on in that country that we have been condemning and will continue to condemn using this platform. A man was arrested, just like War Peace was saying. If I am coming to arrest you, I will read out the riot of what we call I will read out my arrest orders for you. I will read the arrest orders for you if I'm coming to arrest you. A legal arrest is a legal arrest. War Peace, you heard it, that the Attorney General of Kenya came out and issued an affidavit into their own court. And you come out here, you are saying this. Or is it because the judge in Nigeria said it's legal? Where in the world is rendition legal? Where in the world?
You know what happened?
No, listen.
Hold on. Sorry, Vin. You might be older than me. You listen, sir. Okay.
Vin, when you don't make point, they will try to counter you with all this.
I tell you, I'm not going to learn my point.
Hold on. Hold on. It's a dialogue, not a monologue.
No,
so somebody can. You interjected somebody, so let somebody.
I don't want any situation where people think, they will see Kanu, they will not be reading illegal riot, whatever, to him. We are here to arrest you. No country that is looking for somebody, the way they branded him, no country that will be looking for him will go and do that. Let's be real.
Okay. When they were looking for Igboho in Benin, he was also renditioned. He was also renditioned and his process was okay, right?
What conversation are we having now?
The fact is this.
I don't know why you are moving
the fact. Look, as you done to B, you must do the same thing to A. All of us know that the injustice that is going on in that space, and we know how Mazen NNAMDI Kanu escaped his house. Before that time, he was in his house.
Okay.
A judge in a competent court of jurisdiction in Abia State has ruled that the invasion on his house was illegal.
Okay.
And advised the federal government.
What led to the invasion of his house?
Because he was going to go to court the following day.
No. Hold on. What can you hold
because
on?
People were in his house. People were in his house. The solidarity.
No, hold on. Hold on.
What was the condition of his
Can you hold on? The reason why his house was invaded, according to you, was because he flouted his bail conditions.
Okay.
But coming to kill him, was that the
Okay,
right way
hold
to
on.
go
I've
about
heard you.
it?
No, hold on.
He flouted the
Can you hold on, Vin? Let's go back to establish what is known as fact. NNAMDI Kanu was presented in front of a court and to face trials for his agitations. The court granted him bail. So he did not grant it. He did not force his way out of the court. The court, through its largesse, granted him bail, and they set conditionalities to that bail. He flouted the constitutionalities of that bill, and that was what led to then the activities at his house. Was that excessive? Yes. Were they trying to kill him?
Yes,
almost certainly. It was wrong. Excessive force. All they needed to have done is to send one policeman to go and arrest him. And then if he resists that, then they can go heavy-handed. So that was wrong. Of course. But yes. But the conditions that led to that was him flouting the conditions of his bill. So we have to go with all the known facts. We can't just pick and choose.
Of course, for me, I'm coming. One man interjected me in one piece. Hold on, my friend. One man interjected.
Hold on. Let Vin land and then you come in. But,
hold on, let me see.
Yeah. Be succinct with it, though. Yeah, go on.
The military they send there. Military, there is a defined role of the military in any arrest. Military has no right to arrest anybody by the civil police. If Mazen NNAMDI Kanu in their eye,
why do you think they sent the military as opposed to?
I do not know the intention. I do not know the intention of them sending the military there.
Guess at it.
I don't know the intention. But what the intention was. As a result, you know the intention after all, the intention was that over 26 people were killed there. That was the intention. And there is no way you will send a soldier. A soldier does not go into a place to fire you or to wound you. No, he is there to fire and eliminate you. The police is the only person that can make an arrest, and a policeman has no right to fire you, to kill, or unless his life is at threat, is threatened.
Do you know why?
This is the difference between the police.
Do you know why?
This is the hold on.
No, we know the difference. We know where they are going. But do you know why they would have sent the military instead of the police?
There is no way. There is no reason to it.
Yeah, there has to be a reason. There has to be a
reason. When a wrong is done, even by the government, we must point it out.
What do you mean there can be no? We've already established that it was wrong, the excessive force.
But you are justifying the army going there.
No, I'm not justifying it. We can't just thump and kumbaya now. We can't. We don't kumbaya here. You know that. So let's examine why they may have sent the military instead of the police. They would have made the risk assessment, what they consider to be the security risk, and that would have determined. And by the way, they sent a joint task force. So that is why they would have sent a joint task force as opposed to just a team of police to effect the arrest.
I was in there. So and I had the opportunity to, I had the opportunity to work with the joint task force, even in Bakassi Peninsula. I had the opportunity also to work in the joint task force in Bronu, in Bronu as well. You see, let me tell you, you do not send look, it is the duty of the for me, you cannot use wrong to correct wrong. Okay. If police people were sent there and they were attacked, then there will be justification for you to send these people. But a court in that space has said that thing that made him to run away, because all of us were even saying, Mazen NNAMDI Kanu jump bail in this platform. He jumped bail. He deserved to be arrested in this platform.
No, nobody said that lies here. No. Can you hold on?
Until a court.
Can you hold on, please? And this thing that you do, I want you to stop doing it, to come here to start to demarket the platform. How we present may not be to your liking, and it's at your discretion if you come here or not, but please don't come here to demarket the platform. What we do here is to speak to the facts as they obtain. We are not here to kumbaya or tom or propagandize or soliloquize or sermonize. We speak to facts as we
Make
know
your
them.
point.
So,
Make your point,
but
just
let's
go straight to the point.
no, don't worry.
Hold on,
I think we've heard enough from you. Let's go back to War Peace, who has the floor.
Gavin,
War Peace, back to
one
you.
man. Please, people could see I was very civil and calm since when they interject on how to use the language. I didn't interrupt them. What I'm saying here and what I'll keep saying, whatever I say, I speak from the fact, from public domain. You know, people could have their emotions, have their sentiment. I don't speak from sentiment. I don't speak from emotion. I don't speak from biased thinking. I speak from what is on public domain. You know, if Ogavin and the rest people could just calm down and let's discuss and let's be civil. Let's speak from the fact on ground. We could find a headway to this was on ground. From what I was saying, not until it's proven in international court that Nigeria broke Kenyan law, that NNAMDI was kidnapped, we cannot say to a fact that he was kidnapped. That is one. Two, we all know how the Israel government were going after Nazis. Till today, still go after Nazis supporters, Nazis, whatever members in Argentina and all. We all know how they went after them. When Kanu was brought to Nigeria, fine. The case of they didn't grant him under bail. Of course, that's law. They can't grant you 2 bills. Just like when you're under probation, you cannot have a probation under probation. It's not done. One is still there, and the judge just struck it out. Then he has to face the law. You know, he broke all his base conditions. They told him when you go back to the East, he should not be among how they say, should not go on broadcasting, being around crowd, and so many things they told him. But this guy was forming, the first group he formed was Biafra National Guard. It was on air, giving them ranks. He was going from state to state campaigning. He broke his big conditions. We should say that. You can, if you want to blame Nigerian government, at the same time blame your owner, the Kanu too, for breaking his bail. It can't be pounds. It cannot be penny wise, pounds foolish. We should not speak. We should not be shouting Fulani government. If he didn't break his bail, the government will not come for him now. This guy was there now. Sure, it was in Abuja all true. He didn't. You hear revolution from his mother. They told me if you go back there, don't do anything revolution. He revolution now, whatever he say. He went there and kept his cool. Why did they say?
Because he still believe in Nigeria. He never asked for decision.
Oh, hold on. Please, we're just talking, you know. But coming now to start shouting, they send the military, they did this. If he didn't do all that, they won't send military to his house. Did they send military to his house the first 1 month when he was at home? Even when he was doing all that, they didn't send military to his house now. And the Nigerian government make their own mistake. Fine, 2 wrong cannot make it right. And for Nnamdi Kanu, a freedom fighter, you should expect he will be arrested. Later, what's this guy called? This renowned Yoruba lawyer, something, is it Fayemi or he's dead now?
Fawemi.
Gani, is it Gani Fayemi?
Fawemi.
Yes. He said he said at one time he get his prison clothes prepared, because every now and then they come knocking on his door to arrest him because he was a freedom fighter. Freedom fighter don't get it easy. Freedom fighter, prison is their second and middle name. So I don't know why people keep crying he's in jail, he didn't check clothes. That's the part of freedom fighting. When you are doing freedom fighting, you expect
are not serious. Under democracy, person's right does not matter. Freedom fighter to go to jail under democracy. Are you serious?
Is this a democracy?
Wait. Even a civilized country, Singapore, London, when people were agitating, not island people, where are they today? Are they not in prison? The Catalonians, the people that spared all those the movement that they even to the their member, parliament member, they are all in prison right now as we're speaking. But Gaddafi they are talking about is in London. He has not gone back home since then. We should say the fight is freedom fighting. You are campaigning against the state. The state will resist you. It's a simple logic.
One thing we should
then why are we now speaking from emotion, sentiment, and you leave the facts?
We should all just
and Ogavin, you see, Bradbury said he's a man, Kanu supporter. He's the one who making my point for me. Please, let's speak with facts. Okay? Yeah. I don't have anything against another Kanu.
We should remove sentiment and say, Vin, if you were the president of Nigeria, what will you do? Okay? Will you hear what happened? Okay, you said, they sent people to his house. What is to analyze everything that happened? That
you asked me a question, right?
How he flaunted the bail, okay? No government will find a way. If they had a way to get him in the UK, they would have got him in. But they didn't have the way. When they found the way, they got him. Every government will do this, okay? But now we are here. We are where we are. NNAMDI Kanu is where he is right now. Let's see what is going to happen. Let's just follow the procedure and see what happens. I don't want anybody to say, why would they arrest him? Kenya, even if Kenyan government knows about it, the Kenyan government, they're just going to keep mute and say we didn't know anything about it. Why have they not charged Nigerian government to court and said, how would you come to our country and get some money? Because they also know about it.
That's a very high security breach.
Okay, because they also know about it. Okay, so this thing has happened. Let's see how, like what I always say, that he will not be granted bail until another government comes in. It's just as simple as that. Let's just stop saying, why would Nigerian government do it? If Obasanjo was there, would have done it. If Obasanjo was there, I'm even sure if Obasanjo was there, would have thrown bomb into that place.
That's sure that it would have been worse.
Where they were people were buying down, doing all sorts of things, a crowd when they were already. You know what Obasanjo did in South? You know how many people he killed?
It
wasn't us democracy.
That's genocide.
All right, let Vin address that. You put that to Vin. So Vin, address that.
What happened in Nigeria is that when leaders commit atrocities like that, everybody keep mute and we clap for them. That is why they have the impetus to...
Hold on, let him address the question. Yeah, go on, Vin.
I was in the military when Udi happened. I was in the military when Zaki Biam happened. Not all of us that were donning the uniform supported what happened that time. And we were waiting for you people that time in Nigeria that are talking right now to say the same thing that time. You see, nobody supported what Obasanjo did in Udi. He had no right under democracy to do that. It was genocide. It was a genocide that was committed on the people of Udi. And another one was also committed on the people of Zaki Biam in Benue State. So I am not here showing emotion. If the right thing must be done, that which is right to do against one man must be also seen as right thing to do against me. So I am not supporting whatever, because there is what we call disproportionate use of force, and it is frowned by Geneva Convention. If people know that you cannot use such force on people. That is what your country and the authorities are using on you. It's unfortunate for us to come out here and be, embellishing most of this thing that is happening. Wrong is wrong. When someone commits a crime that is, punishable, go after it the right way instead of using wrong to correct a wrong. That is my position.
All right.
And in addition to that,
sorry, let me acknowledge Alexander Super Chat and then you come in Janle Coco. So Alexander Super Chat to Vin. He says, Vin, love you, Charlie, but remember you were a sniper under the Abacha administration. Yes, hold on. So Vin, love you, Charlie, but remember you were a sniper under the Abacha administration. Yes, Nnamdi Kanu. Sorry, hold on. Let me. So it says, Vin, love you, Charlie, but remember you were a sniper under the Abacha administration. Yes, Nnamdi Kanu was renditioned, I agree, but he got carried away. So this is essentially what... So nobody is absolving the Nigerian state. Certainly not me. I'm not. Thank you for the super chat. No, I'm certainly not absolving the Nigerian state of anything. Buhari, a crime against humanity as a human being. But we have to look at the facts to apportion where the portions are. The weight of the burden completely on Buhari, but we cannot say that this guy did not flout his bail conditions when we know that he did. We cannot say that they just concluded to send the army, because we have to presume that there was a security assessment to conclude what security force to send. So they would have determined that the risk was such that they had to send the joint task force, etc. So we have to permutate all of that, but then to still then place the blame on Buhari because it was an excessive abuse of power. They went there with the intent not to arrest but to kill, and that guy, of course, had to flee for his life. So no blame to him for how he effected this escape. But the circumstances that he was granted bail. So you cannot say that they were out to kill him. When they had him in custody, they ran him through the legal processes. The legal process granted him bail, So we cannot dismiss all of that to then just arrive at the final act. So we have to mix everything together. But then the blame still goes to Buhari because it was just too excessive.
Yes.
Let's hear from Ajale Koko here. Hold on, let Ajale Koko come in and then Victor. Yeah, Ajale Koko.
I like your conclusion right there. See, the government, let's even agree that, okay, Nnamdi Kanu flouted the bail condition or conditionalities whatsoever. There's a due process on how to arrest somebody in a civilized way. And it is the duty of the police to do that. And he has the next court date 2 days before the military jump on his house. Why not wait for him to appear in court and put these charges, evidences against him that he flouted this thing against him, and then discontinue his bail right from there at the court? Why the excessive use of force against a citizen of a country? So we can hold the citizen responsible for a legal act, but how do we hold our government responsible against a legal act as well? So the government, under any circumstances, does not have that legal right to carry military unit to go and attack or enforce arrest. The democracy is not possible. So this is where the government got wrong, and this is why we are saying that their mission there on that day with the military was to kill that guy.
Yeah, they went to kill him, no doubt about that.
Was to kill him. So he escaped, and now in the court, no, what the court is saying is, the judge is saying now is that, well, he's still regarding it as an arrest. It is now led for Kanu'S, what do you call them? Lawyers.
The legal team, yeah.
The legal team to convince the court that it was, with all evidences and everything they have, to convince the court that it was not arrest, it was kidnap and rendition, because the Kenya authority were not in play. If he was arrested in Kenya legally, it was Kenya authority that would have legally handed him over to Nigerian authority. That is the way it operates under international law. But for anybody to say, oh, it is an arrest, it is not arrest. It is a crude kidnapping and a barbaric way to treat any human being on earth. Nobody should be arrested or kidnapped in such manner. All of us, it could happen to any one of us. And how do we have peace in this world if this is the way that people can be kidnapped from one place or the other? It is wrong. What peace? Right. Get it right. That's my position.
All right. Sorry, Rob, please. Let's hear from Victor. I think he wanted to come in, and then I'll shut down after that. We're past. So, Victor, you wanted to come in?
Yeah, I was just, in fact, looked like Ajale Kuto just took the words out of my mouth. The truth is, two illegalities cannot make it right. You understand? Yeah. For me, what I thought the government would have done is to maybe somehow keep some parameters around his house, make sure he doesn't escape, because it's just 2 days to his court date. You know, going in there wouldn't have made sense. Just keep their parameters and watch and be sure he doesn't escape or something. You know, like I was in the East within that time. If you heard the way fighter jets were going in the sky, everywhere was just tense, completely tense. You know, you'll be wondering like what is really going on. You know, so the truth is, yeah, we know he flouted the bail conditions, obviously. All right, but then, like, I was just confused. Why wait until 2 days? You would have, even if you had wanted to go at him when he just flouted his bail condition. Why wait until? It looks like a miscalculation from my own judgment. It's just a miscalculation. That's what I think.
Victor.
Sorry, thank you, Victor. Ask you a question? Sorry, no, I have to shut down. We're already half an hour past that, but thank you. There's never sufficient enough time, but we reconvene in the afternoon, in the evening, to have a longer go at our talking point. So thank you, gentlemen, for your company.
All right.
So I'll leave it there. Carry the conversation on the comment section, but here I say
all right.
peace.
Good night, everybody.
All right, thanks, guys. It's good afternoon here, but there it is.